Dollar, dollar, dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack to flip for my foes. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew? It's your boy DJ New Kid, your girl.
Sierra Nicole.
Back with Mr. Ballen, man. We diving. I said we did.
I didn't know what you was going to say.
Digging. I was finna say we digging. Well, I was finna say deep dive. But it said we dig.
What are you saying?
We diving into the archives, man. We went way back. And we got this, man. We got top 3 photos with disturbing backstories. Part 10.
Okay.
So y'all fill us in if y'all already checked it out. Y'all don't. Hate is a strong word. Let me calm down.
You dislike?
I dislike the people who want to combat what you got to say, but never really truly drop their opinion on what happened, but just doesn't agree with you,
right.
But can't put out a statement of their own.
Okay, yeah.
Statement of their own.
Yeah.
Like, tell me what you think, then, shawty. You got a problem with what I think. Let me know what you think. Well, I don't know what to... Well, quit trying to scrutinize what I got going on in my head.
Okay.
At least I can vocal... Well, I was say vocalize. At least I can be vocal with what I'm...
Anyway, come on.
Hey, man, with that being said, all fun and games, man. Make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go, man. You want to first support, you got to do it. Check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it with a thumbs up.
That's all, man. Let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what it's about. Let's roll it.
Today, I'm going to share with you 3 progressively more disturbing stories, and at the end of each of them, I'm going to share with you the picture or pictures that are famously associated with them. But before I get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you come to the right channel, because that's all I do, and I upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please put hot dog water ice cubes in the like button's lemonade. Also subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. Alright, let's get into today's stories. At 7:27 p.m. on February 9th, 2004, a woman called the Grafton County Sheriff's Department to report a car accident. A small black sedan appeared to be wedged up against a snowbank off the side of the highway near this woman's house in Woodsville, New Hampshire. The sheriff thanked her for calling and dispatched officers to check it out. 16 minutes later, at 7:43 p.m., the sheriff's department gets another call about this black sedan up against this snowbank, and it came in from a local school bus driver. The driver said he was going down the road and he sees this black sedan up against the side of the road, and what appeared to be the driver, this young woman, no one was helping her. So the school bus driver pulls over and walks up to her. She says her name is Maura Murray. She's 21 years old. She's a college student in Massachusetts. She seemed totally fine, but was adamant that he did not call the police. And so the school bus driver at the time didn't call the police. He kind of sized her up as seeming like she was okay. She said she was going to call for a tow truck. And so he left thinking she was going to be just fine. But only a couple of minutes after leaving the scene, he felt like, you know what, I got to call the police because something just seemed off. The sheriff tells him that they had already gotten a call about 20 minutes earlier and that officers would be there any minute, and I'm sure she's just fine. 3 minutes later, the officer who was originally dispatched to check out this black sedan shows up and radios in and says, the black sedan is here, but there's no girl, there's no driver. Police do an initial search of the area. They can't find Maura. There's no sign of where she would have gone. There's no sign of a struggle. They get in touch with Maura's family. They can't get in touch with Maura, and so it's like she just kind of vanished. And so that night, they labeled Maura officially a missing person. On February 8th, the day before Maura went missing, she was with her father. They went out to eat, and he would say to police that she seemed totally normal. There was no red flags. There was no clear stressors in her life. Everything just seemed normal. The next morning when she gets up on February 9th, this is the day she goes missing, she finds out that all of her classes that day have been canceled because of a snowstorm. She gets up, goes over to her computer, and emails all of her professors as well as her work supervisor and tells them that there's been a death in her family and she needs to take the next week off. Family members would say that there was no death in the family, that was a lie. After emailing her professors, she drives to an ATM, withdraws $280, and then goes to a liquor store and buys $40 worth of alcohol. She also stopped at the Amherst DMV to get some paperwork she needed for some damage that had been done to her car. After that, we don't really know what she was doing until she wound up on that snowbank in Woodsville, New Hampshire. When police searched her abandoned car, they found printed out directions to a condo complex in Burlington, Vermont. Cell phone records show Maura had placed a call to one of the owners of a condo that had been put up for rent, but Maura had not indicated to anyone in her life that she was looking to rent a condo in Burlington, Vermont. Nor had she indicated to anyone that she might be traveling to Vermont for any reason. When they searched her dorm room, all of her belongings had been packed and her room had been meticulously cleaned. It was clear that she was getting ready to leave her dorm, but this is mid-semester. There's no reason she'd be leaving prematurely. And on top of her belongings in her dorm room was this typed up note to her boyfriend detailing all of their relationship issues. It wasn't a breakup note, but it was definitely something close to that. Most of Maura's belongings were either in her dorm room, all packed up, or in her abandoned car. But her cell phone, debit cards, and credit cards were all missing. However, they were never used again after the day she went missing, February 9th. 6 days after Maura went missing, a massive search is conducted around her abandoned car. They covered 20 square miles. They had helicopters. They had sent sniffing dogs. They had hundreds of people on the ground, and there was just no trace of her. But even more strangely, on the night Maura went missing, there was snow on the ground. So you'd think you'd be able to find a couple footprints showing you where Maura might have gone. But there was none. And the scent-sniffing dogs could only track her scent about 100 feet away from the car before they lost the scent. It was like she vanished into thin air.
But it said it's been 6 days, though. Since, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, but
that's enough time for the scent to fade, right? How long does your scent last if it just, especially if out in the open and you're not typically around there?
Yeah.
But you say you mean not what?
No, nothing.
No, say it.
No, nothing. I was just thinking out loud. That's a lot going through my head because I'm trying to figure out where she could have went. Like, did someone pick her up?
I just think she went missing. Because it was strange that you stranded on the side of a road. Nobody.
But that's what I'm saying. Did you call for someone and someone picked you up, and did a random pick you up?
Or did somebody pick you up at all?
Or did someone pick you up at all? Yeah, but
you're like, everything you did so far has been weird and odd.
Yeah, but the only reason I said maybe someone picked her up or she, whatever, is because the dogs were only able to, 100?
But maybe her scent faded away. That's
it could have, but I'm just, yeah, I get you.
Because then you would have saw time, well, not necessarily saw time trace, so I don't know.
Something happened to Maura Murray between 7:46 p.m. when the bus driver left the scene and called the police. He said she was there, he saw her, and 7:49 p.m. when the officer who was dispatched arrived on scene. And
why it take him so long?
No.
p.m. when the bus driver...
No.
There. So something happened to Maura Murray between 7:46 p.m. when the bus driver left the scene and called the police. He said she was there, he saw her, and 7:49 p.m. when the officer who was dispatched arrived on scene and Maura's not there. She went somewhere, we just don't know where or why or with who. And unfortunately, to this day, this case remains unsolved. Here is the final picture of Maura Murray. This is her withdrawing $280 at that ATM shortly before she hopped back in her car, drove up to Woodsville, New Hampshire, crashed on the side of the road, and then disappeared.
The reason why I said why it takes so, I don't know why I thought he said 6:46 to 7:40. I was like, dang, why it takes so long for them to get there?
That's very odd.
Yeah, because
I'll say this.
3 minutes?
3 minutes. Somebody could. I can't go with what you said. Somebody could have drove up, offered to get her, but she refused the bus driver assistance previously before.
True,
so
maybe.
why, or did somebody snatch her up?
Someone could have snatched her up, or she did call someone before the bus driver seen her, and she's waiting on them. But I'm still trying to figure out all the other behavior, like the packing up the dorm in the middle of the semester, a condo that you never mentioned to anyone,
saying that you have
your boyfriend,
saying you have a definite family,
all of that, like that's strange behavior. Like I'm trying to figure out why that was done.
Your room was packed up and clean, spotless.
Yeah.
everything she did and every key factor was strange. From packing up your room, yeah, your classes are canceled, but you took this as the opportunity to email your professors, tell them, "Hey, I got a death in the funeral. I got a death in the family. I need to be
Did
absent for a week."
someone make her do this stuff?
Could be. Somebody could have been trailing her.
I don't know,
and that's the reason why she said, "Don't call the police," because she knew. You know what I'm saying?
And still to this day, there's nothing.
Nothing.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I don't know.
I
man.
hate situations like this, for real.
I don't know. And to be real, I'd say this. Unless it's been solved already, I don't see it being solved. I just don't see any clue or insight to it. Because everything she did previously before was too secretive. But her credit cards and all her information, she took with her.
Yeah, but at this time of doing or whatever the investigation, she hadn't used them after she took the $200 out.
Because somebody could have got them and destroyed them.
Yeah, it's sad. That's sad.
Yeah. That was hard.
Armin Meiwes seemed like a really good guy. He mowed his neighbor's lawn, he offered to fix his friends' cars, he would host these great dinner parties at his house. But underneath that charming outer layer, Armin Meiwes was a deeply disturbed individual. In 2001, Armin would place an ad on the internet seeking a young, well-built man that is looking to be slaughtered and then consumed. Meiwes actually got a lot of replies to this, and people acted like they were interested, but I think people were just responding because it was such an outrageous thing he was asking for.
Maybe
What's the date?
2001.
Wow.
And then consumed. Meiwes actually got a lot of replies to this, and people acted like they were interested, but I think people were just responding because it was such an outrageous thing he was asking for, so no one went through with it. Until a man named Bernard Brandis saw it, who had previously placed an ad on the internet himself, asking if there was anybody out there that would slaughter and eat him. So perfect match. So Brandis reaches out to Armin and says, yes, I'd love to. And on March 9th, 2001, the two meet up at Armin's house. Brandis lays down in the bathtub while Armin sets up a video camera. He wants to film this for a variety of reasons, but mostly he wants to make sure that everybody sees that Brandis is doing this willingly. On camera, Brandis gives Armin the go-ahead. Initially, Armin tries biting into Brandis, but apparently he was too chewy, so Brandis suggests he gets a knife. After successfully removing a piece of Brandis, Armin fries it up in a pan, and the two of them begin to eat it. But apparently it was too burned to either of their liking, and they would feed that piece of him to the dog. At this point, Brandis is in and out of consciousness because he's losing a lot of blood, so Armin decides to take a break and go to his room and read a Star Trek book. When Armin goes back in the bathroom, it's clear that Brandis is still alive, but he's on the verge of death. So, after much deliberation and quite a bit of praying, Armin ultimately ends Brandis's life and then proceeds to butcher him and put all of his meat into a freezer. Over the next 10 months, Armin would consume over 44 pounds of Brandis. In December of 2001, Armin put another ad online seeking somebody else that wanted to be eaten, and that ad would get sent to the police, who would go to Armin's house. They would find Brandis's remains behind pizza boxes in the back of his freezer, and they would arrest Armin. Despite showing police the videotape that showed Brandis repeatedly consenting to what was happening to him, Armin was still given a life sentence. This is the picture that Brandis put online in hopes that it would attract someone that would want to eat him. And this is the bathtub where Armin Meiwes would grant Brandis that wish.
Wow.
I never in my life, it must have been like on Craigslist type shit. Bro, you know the craziest shit used to go on Craigslist.
Baby, I used to get on there.
I never got on there.
I used to get on there because that's back like when I was in high school and I was like, oh my gosh, like I want a car so bad. I want a car so bad. I want to get on Craigslist, see if someone's selling a car. And I used to, but you used to come across like strange stuff. And I'm
this
just
man
like,
literally solicited to eat. All right, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe he deserved life in prison?
That's hard because, you know, some people be like, well, he put this ad out. He wanted this done for whatever reason. He consented. It's on video. Obviously, it was enjoyment for him. You know.
Another guy, too.
But it's kind of like, still, that's just like somebody, like, for instance, sick. right, or on the verge, like on their deathbed, and they like, just go ahead and do it so I can get it over with because I'm tired. Like you could,
but
still
they have facilities that would do that though for you.
Yeah, but maybe they got something set up where that's like legal for them to do, but not just me going in and be like, okay, I want to take this pillow.
But he ate some of his own. He ate some of his own flesh though, which is fucked up.
That is so crazy.
And fed it to the dog.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's crazy, but
and this dog gotta taste the human flesh. So now you need to put the dog down. Chill out. Chill out.
You spit in my eye.
Shut up, bro. I did not.
But no,
but you know what I'm saying?
That one a little. I don't know.
I say this. Do I believe he deserves to be in jail for life? No.
Well, let me say
I say this because they.
The only reason that I would say possibly, even though.
I'm with you on that too, though.
The only reason I'll say more.
But I got another option.
Okay, the only reason I'll say yes because this seemed like a very like this fetish or something, and there's no telling what. And then or if you can't get it, what a lead up, and if you can't get it, maybe you'll just start taking. Like if no one's offering to do this stuff, and you like, I need to like, you know. I don't know.
My thing is, I don't believe he needs to be in jail for the rest of his life, but I think he should have went to a mental institution.
Okay.
That's why I said I had another option for it.
Okay.
I don't believe because he didn't deliberately go out and kill the guy. The guy volunteered. But he picked up on the ad. He was seeking something. Other guy was seeking something. They had a mutual agreement that's also recorded.
So you think, because not somebody like a same person not gonna be thinking on like to do this type of stuff. So that's why you.
I don't know. You can go to a mental evaluation on him and see if there's anything mentally off with him. See.
Yeah, they could do that.
Because to be honest, he never did anything technically. Without consent.
It's just super strange. And it's like.
I don't know what that one, man.
Yeah,
I just don't believe he deserved. The dude asked for it, bro. What the hell?
I know. It's still weird. It doesn't make it. It's
no. I ain't making it. No, I'm saying it's
still weird on both parts. So, yeah. It's very strange behavior.
A disaster began to quietly unfold at 8:49 a.m. on April 16th, 2014. The Seawall ferry that was on a routine trip to Jeju Island in South Korea was beginning to lean very badly to one side. The ferry had recently undergone illegal renovations, adding a whole bunch of new rooms to the top of the ferry that made it much more profitable, but dangerously top-heavy. Corrupt regulators who were bought off with fancy dinners and travel allowed the ship to sail unsafe despite never having stepped foot on board. Had they gone on the ship themselves, they would have seen immediately how unsafe it was. On April 16th, the day this ferry is making its way to Jeju Island and is now leaning to one side, ferry workers had loaded twice the legal limit onto the ferry and then hadn't properly secured really any of it. So there were cars and shipping containers that were not tethered. So as the badly balanced Seawall ferry is making its way out to Jeju Island, it hits some very strong currents and makes a sharp turn to avoid them, causing the ship to begin to keel over. As soon as it begins to keel over, all those unsecured cars and containers all shift all at once to one side of the ship, causing it to completely roll over on its side and begin sinking. On board,
you see that bus? That's what? Wow.
Were 476 passengers, of which 325 were high school students on a school trip. As soon as the ship comes to rest on its side, the captain comes over the intercom and tells everybody to stay in your rooms and await further instruction. And everybody listens. They all stay in their room. And honestly, you can't blame them because they're on a routine ferry trip that happens dozens of times a day without any incident. And the captain of the ship is telling you everything's fine. You just stay where you are. We'll tell you what to do next. After a little while, a lot of the students start to feel a little bit anxious because there's been no further instruction. They're still sideways and they're starting to realize that if they needed to, it would be hard to get out of the ship. A lot of them were way into the bowels of the ship and they would literally need to climb up and out of the ship to safety. A student actually called the authorities and said, "Hey, I think the ship I'm on is sinking," and the authorities hadn't heard of it. because the captain and the crew of the ship were just totally crippled and could not make a decision and had wasted all this time that they could have been evacuating people and getting help, and instead were just panicked and frozen in terror. There would be over 20 calls from students pleading with authorities to come save them because now they know the ship is sinking because they can hear the sound of water rushing into the ship, and it's just a matter of time before it reaches them. Finally, almost an hour after the ship had originally keeled over onto its side, the captain issues the evacuation call to the whole ship. But at this point, water's already getting into the compartments where these students have been told to stay, and students aren't able to leave, and there's this panic to get out of the ship. So the evacuation order was doing nothing. It was already too late. One person who survived, who had left early and disobeyed the stay in your room order, they had climbed to the top of the ship, which was really the side of the ship, and they were looking down into the ship through a hallway. And they said there was this mass of people that were coming out of their rooms and trying to climb up this hallway right as a rush of water poured in through the side of this hallway and completely filled it, and they were gone. Later on, when divers would go down to recover the bodies, they would find that many of the students had broken fingers from desperately trying to climb up those hallways when water was pouring in on them. After the divers recovered the bodies, investigators began going through their cell phones to get some sense of what happened. And on their phones were these tragic pictures and videos of these students staying in their rooms like they were told to do, just waiting for their captain to give them further instruction that never came. The captain actually abandoned ship right after that 9:30 call to evacuate came when hundreds of students were still down below. He left the ship. So they were totally on their own, just waiting for help that never came. Of the 476 passengers, 304 would perish, and many believe that almost all of them could have been saved had they just evacuated as soon as the ship keeled over. And so as a result of his gross negligence, the captain was given a life sentence. So that's going to do it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought of these 3 stories, and I will pin the best comment at the top of the comments.
Bro, he deserved it.
That I was like,
That
is so
coward.
very much so.
Coward. Bro, you could have
Like you wasted an entire hour trying to figure out what to do.
You weren't trying to figure out.
Well, no, you weren't trying to figure out what to do. You're right. But you wasted an entire hour. You never gave them any other instruction other than stay. I was sitting here, man, like my heart was like really?
When I saw the picture of it being turned sideways, I was like, if y'all don't escape now, it's too late. Because as soon as it tilted over,
and that water was
already coming in. Y'all had to evacuate immediately.
That's so sad.
Like, did we not learn anything from Titanic? Like,
That's
come on
so
now.
sad.
Like, I understand it's a movie, but it's something real happened for real. Y'all should automatically have it. And then, to be honest, the boat should never have been carrying any human life. It was already over cargo. Come on now. Yeah. It already was never safe to carry human life on it anyway. It was only a matter. Them 400. It was the reason why I tilted, it was too much weight. Way too much weight. And the boat really couldn't hold itself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Especially with the cargo that they had in the back that wasn't even like secured. Like if anything, that 9 times out of 10 with like how it's rocking and that stuff is tilting and like you said, put them away because it's not secured down. Yeah, I don't know. Right. The whole ordeal was just could have been avoided.
And then to be completely honest, is the family all the family members able to sue? Who how can we get? We lost over 300 some people gone.
Yeah, but it's just like
who's responsible?
I mean,
somebody besides the captain, somebody else.
I'd be mad because I'm like, yeah, we could sue all day, but my child could have been saved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
but I'm just saying something like.
No, I get what you're
not
saying.
even just the captain, the people who inspect, the crew members are held responsible. Whoever is over this boat, because it ain't just the captain. Whoever over the boat has to be held responsible too. Like companies, there's a lot of people.
But yeah, I'm glad that
I'm glad over 100 individuals were able to survive.
To survive, and then they got somewhat of justice for
That ain't enough.
Right, it's not. Like, what the world?
But
anyway.
Man, make sure y'all spam us up. These was 3 crazy stories. The first one, that's the only one that stumped me. The second one, I think he needs to be in a mental, mental evaluation. I don't think just being in jail does nothing for his sanity because he can do the same actions while he's in jail if he craves it that much. The third one, unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's crazy,
that is unfortunate, man.
Hey, man, but as always, I do go by the name DJ Kid. This is
we are.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.